Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
Nope. My name is Mike Piwowarski, and I'm coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most. Here on the Rundown, 2A views, conservative news. Craig, we're halfway through the holiday weekend already. How's yours going?
Man, you know what? Today is a busier day than I expected it or wanted it to be, but it's been all good. You know what? Being an entrepreneur, I welcome the opportunity to earn a little scratch.
What'd you say about manure?
Didn't say anything about manure.
I heard
Said
something
earning
about
cash, earning money. Scratch, dollar bills, y'all.
Okay, gotcha.
Come on, we gotta get you up to the current vernacular of the day, or maybe that's not the current
You
vernacular.
said something about entree manure, and then something
Entree
about scratching.
manure.
That's right. Oh boy. Anything going on? Any fireworks yet? People have been practicing yet?
Oh man, look. So in California, you start selling fireworks a week before, which means that people start firing off fireworks about 2 weeks before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
They start blowing up the ones they had extra from last year, and then they start blowing up the ones they just bought.
That's it. Same here. Yeah, it's every vacant corner and every abandoned gas station is now a fireworks stand, and as soon as people get them, they feel like they have to shoot off 100% of them to make sure they work okay.
Right, exactly. I don't know what it is, don't get it, but it is what it is. So I'm just happy to see people celebrating liberty and freedom and, independence.
America.
Hey, folks, if you believe in liberty, you believe in freedom, then you are free to like, share, and subscribe our program. You can watch us anywhere: YouTube, Facebook. You can watch us on Twitter. You can find us on Twitter. You can watch us on Spotify. You can watch us on OpsLens. There's tons of ways to watch us. And if you just want to listen, wherever you get podcasts, you can get our podcast. But whatever you do, make sure that you subscribe and make sure you encourage your friends to do the same.
Like, share, subscribe. Do what Craig says.
Yes, help us fight them algorithms.
That's
the
right.
ones that hate liberty.
Get them damn liberty hating algorithms.
There you go. That's exactly what they are. Now, this first story is talking about hating liberty. Let's talk a little bit about UPS. Now, Mike, you're the one who sent me this story. This is breaking news, right? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I was looking. Nobody else is talking about this right now. So, Mikey, take it away.
This is new. It's something I rolled across yesterday, and trying to figure out whether you're gonna do a big expose on it, right, or hand it off to somebody that's more qualified or has the time to do it. So actually, you should be looking for a story for this next week. You'll see a good story from our good friend Lee Williams, the gun writer and the Second Amendment Foundation's investigative journalist. So he's taking a look at this. So basically, what you have is UPS, United Parcel Service. What can Brown do for you, right? They've decided to get involved in the whole 80% gun business. There's a company out there in Florida that we know and we deal with, and they have a pseudonym or a DBA as Ghost Firearms. Now, they don't sell guns with no serial numbers on them because that would be illegal, and they're not breaking the law. They do sell parts and accessories that you can put on any firearm that you legally own. Well, I guess the UPS is determined because their name has the word ghost in it and firearms in it. They must be actively selling, firearms illegally, but not to the point where the ATF would shut them down, not to the point where the police would shut them down, just enough to make UPS say, sorry, Mr. Federal Firearms Licensee, we are taking away your UPS privileges. And if you read through this letter, Craig, here, you can see that it says, and if we could zoom out the address on it, that'd be great, Craig. Why don't you pull that down real quick? Sorry, my bad. I'll read it to you then. I'm trying to avoid them having people on their doorstep, Craig. If you know what I mean.
I know. No worries. I'm working on it.
Okay. So it says on here, dear UPS customer, we write to inform you that UPS has learned that you may be violating applicable laws concerning the shipment of ghost guns to unauthorized locations. First off, there is no definition of ghost guns on the books. You can have certain states that don't want to call it, they want to have ghost guns. And by the way, I know that this company does not ship to those couple of states that don't have ghost guns. Ghost guns, again, a made-up term, a made-up word. It's not real. It's a firearm it's a firearm frame with or without a serial number. If you have an individual firearm, right, and you have that firearm and you built it yourself at your home, zero federal requirement to have a serial number on it. All right. No matter what the Biden administration is trying to tell you right now, the freaking law says you build your own firearm at home, no serial number required. Now that's for you, your personal use. You can't go out, make them, and start selling them. Then you have to put serial numbers on them. And then, by the way, if you're making guns to sell, you have to have a federal firearms license. So you get trapped. But if you decide you want to make your own, you can. But anyway, UPS says it's come to our attention, or they've learned that they may be violating applicable laws. May. It tells them if pickup service is currently provided, be advised that it's terminated effective immediately. Accordingly, you may not reopen an account with us. Whether you seek to do through us or the service center or the website, sorry. We ask that you not attempt to tender any shipments. It also says, please note that any package found in the UPS system determined to have been tendered by you may be seized and destroyed. Oh, and by the way, if you have any questions, contact your customer service rep. After it says, do not contact us and ask us any questions, it says, call your customer service rep. So I've talked to these guys at Ghost Firearms. I've talked to many other dealers around the Southeast. Anybody that's had anything to do with Ghost Firearms, anybody that UPS believes has had anything to do with a frame, well, I'm sorry, with an 80% receiver, which is not a firearm. I'm sorry. Guess what? They just passed bipartisan legislation, Craig, and that wasn't part of it. So guess what? It's not a firearm. ATF just came out with some new guidance. Guess what? It's not a firearm. All right? They're trying to come up with these weird rules on what you can sell and what you can't sell with it. None of it the law, by the way. None of it the law. So they can stuff it up their asteroids, the back seats,
asteroids.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. Except now, this is reminiscent of Operation Choke Point under the Obama administration. Now the Biden administration is leaning on people like UPS to stop doing business with gun dealers. And that's what's going on now. UPS is caving to the pressure from our cowardly administration and criminal ATF and making people stop doing business with gun dealers.
Well, and once again, once this all comes out, now, do these people sell 80% lowers?
They do sell 80% receivers. Yes, they do.
Okay. That's and it's funny because
there's nothing illegal about selling an 80% receiver.
There is absolutely.
In fact, the ATF,
right.
Yeah, the ATF just clarified, unless there's a state that says they don't allow it, and right. I think it's 7 states now.
Right.
And they don't sell to those states. You're allowed to sell it.
Right.
You're allowed to sell it. ATF's made a couple of restrictions, like don't put parts in the box with the 80% receiver. It's got to be shipped separately. That was their big solution to this, folks.
Because then they consider it consider it a kit, and if it's a kit, then they believe
correct.
Because people aren't smart enough to order the parts separately.
Yes. Yeah.
They're smart enough to build their own firearm, right? Yeah. They're smart enough to do that, but they're not smart enough to order their parts separately.
That's how they're going to foil these felons, Craig. They're going to make them pay for shipping twice.
Ooh, scary. Well, anyway, I don't know. Are they considering any sort of legal action or anything like that?
Still in the very, very early stages. Yes, they are considering it. They're talking with other individuals that have had to receive this ban from UPS and maybe a little class action going on.
I mean, after this, here's the thing. If I own that company, I wouldn't want to do business with UPS anymore, but I would like to take some of their money for the inconvenience.
But here's the problem, Craig. It's saying, like, I don't want to do work with UPS anymore, and I just want to take their money. That's like saying, I just won't advertise on Facebook anymore. I'll just do it in the newspapers. They're the number one provider out there. Yeah.
Right.
How do you say I'm not going to do it and still survive?
Well, there's FedEx.
Sure. And maybe sometime next week you'll get an update on your product.
In any case, folks, it is an all-out war against our right to keep and bear arms. And luckily, though, it looks like we're going to have the courts on our side. Now, Mike, I don't know if you've been following this, but apparently based on the Bruin decision, there were 4 other gun cases that were asked, that sought to be heard by the Supreme Court that were not heard, but they were what is called GVR'd. They were granted, granted, vacated, and
Returned.
Returned. And they were returned to the to lower courts for them to reconsider their decision. The point is that what they're saying is, okay, look, you decided these cases based on that old 2-step standard, right? Well, we've told you now that you're not supposed to do that. That's wrong. And there's only supposed to be a 1-step standard. So we're going to send these back to you, and you're going to redecide them. In other words, Mike, and by the way, these cases are significant ones. There's the Maryland assault weapons ban. There's a California assault weapons ban. There's one that has to deal with I think it's the New Jersey, the magazine capacity limits, and
the California
the concealed carry case or the open carry case from Hawaii. Basically, what's going to wind up happening is these appellate courts are going to basically. I don't see how they're going to get away with deciding anything other than other than siding on the side of gun owners.
Listen, we know that there are judges out there that don't care what the law says, Craig. We saw this in Louisiana earlier this week after the Dobbs case, right? What this is going to turn into is the Supreme Court bringing these lower judges before them in chains and then sentencing them to stocks out in the courtyard.
Oh, God, I hope so.
There's really not much else left to do, is there? How many times can the Supreme Court tell you, listen, you effed this up. Here's the directions for you to use. Do it this way. Okay?
We have made this idiot proof. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah. Now go do it the right way.
Right.
And if they don't, I mean, I see the Supreme Court granting throat punch Thursdays over this. Yeah.
Free throat punch Thursdays?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're going to say you can go down to the lower courts and punch them in the throat. They won't do it right, so they're going to authorize throat punch Thursdays. I think that's the next case we're going to see. So
I'm fully.
I am not advocating violence. I'm not advocating violence at all. I'm just making a joke. Okay.
It's called a joke. It's called a joke.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, so folks, we could see. I mean, and this was explained to me by a friend of mine, an attorney, and he basically said, generally what happens is when these cases are decided, that it only really has jurisdiction in that particular case, but it then speaks to other cases. And so because these cases are in process, it gives the court direction, since they're looking at these, it gives them direction on how to deal with them while they have them. Because if they were to come to the Supreme Court, that's what they would they would basically just tell them, no, this is the standard. This is how it should be ruled. Now you guys do it right. Anyway,
yes, and that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, they've been given literally a step-by-step playbook on how to make their determination, and it's been sent back down. And it's been sent back down to the lowest level as well. It did not go back down to the appellate system. Yeah, it was sent to the lower courts. Yeah.
Well, it will be interesting to see how these cases are in the end handled. But basically, what that means is we've still got work to do, because obviously there's still some rights that we need to make sure are back. But they've basically given us we're no longer fighting with one hand tied behind our back.
That's right. That's right. We got some Clarence Thomas slap shots coming at you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.
Do it the right way.
Do it the right way. And that's kind of not what they're doing in California. California is known as a sanctuary state. We are a sanctuary state for many, many reasons. We're a sanctuary state for criminals because if you're a criminal, well, we don't, we've decriminalized crime and we let people out in the streets. If you're in the country illegally, you can come here and we'll give you free education. You'll get, we'll give you money. We'll give you a place to stay. And we won't, even if you are a hardened criminal, with a long criminal past, we will let you out of jail, and so that you can go and harm other people and kill other people. And then now we're finding in one other area, California is looking to become a sanctuary, and that is in the area of transgender, for transgender children. And this is California is now pushing to be a sanctuary state for transgender children. Now, a number of states have passed laws that basically say, look, you cannot transition children into into another quote unquote into a gender that is not their biological, or a sex that is not their biological sex. These are things like puberty blockers, things like surgery, breast augment or breast removal. I mean, all of these things that you literally have people who are advocating for children to receive these sorts of services as early as possible. Things that are life-changing medical procedures and psychological procedures, and they're encouraging these things to happen. And California, other states are passing laws saying, no, if you're 18 and older, you can do what you want. But as long as someone is a child, they are not allowed, and you're not allowed to push these things on children. You're not allowed to have, well, California is actually saying, nah, go ahead, just come to California, and all is good. We'll make it happen for you.
Craig, there's a video out there. I think I sent it to you. It had to do with people moving to Florida, and the woman was standing there listening to these idiots talking about moving to Florida, and her whole response was, no, 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 no.
Yes, okay? I remember that.
Well, that's what you can't do in California. That's what you can't do. All right, you cannot go out and make transgender zones or sanctuary states for children of trans. That's a crime, is what it is. If you think it's okay to go around and start messing with young people's, underage people's sexuality, that's a crime. Adults don't get to do that. Okay, if you do, you come under the pervert heading, and you should be going to jail. All right, leave them alone. Let them develop on their own. Let boys be boys, girls be girls. Are there going to be some crossover? Sure, but you don't get to start surgically and medically reassigning genders when they're 12 and 13 years old. All right, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. All right, you just have to wait 2 years. I promise you're going to go to jail.
Well, the thing is that children, when I say children, once again, in terms of education, they're starting to instill this stuff in kids as young as kindergarten. And the thing that frustrates me about it is this is when kids are discovering. They don't know what they don't know, and they are naturally confused. And if you tell them they are confused, you're going to have a disproportionate number of children who are confused believing, well, I'm really the other sex. And only after we've given them surgery, only after we've ruined their bodies, their adult bodies via hormones, and screwed them up psychologically, then they realize, I really wasn't another gender. Maybe I was just a masculine girl, or maybe I was just a gay boy. But I wasn't was a person of another gender. Right? That's frustrating. That is, you cannot do that. You cannot confuse children like that. And I've seen where, and I've seen in the educational environment where a kid shows up to school with long hair, wearing a skirt, and then goes out and is a biological boy. We know this child, and this child is out there playing with the boys, is playing toys and army, playing kickball, doing everything that boys do, right? Everything clearly, right. At least all I can say is, in my opinion, seemed to identify as a boy, and yet the parents were making this child dress up like a girl.
Yeah, it's stop Stop,
Right.
stop, stop, stop messing around. And listen, I get California's got a higher percentage of LGBT couples than everywhere else. You know, if you and your spouse or significant other, or our alternate lifestyle, that's fine. Stop forcing it. Stop. Oh, you like you said, you're making the boy dress like a girl because that's what you want them to be. You want them to be, trans or gay or whatever the hell it is. Let them develop normally. Stop messing around with nature. Okay, nature's got a way of messing around back.
Yes, it does. And once again, if there's a place that is going to become a sanctuary for people who want to mess around with children like that, sadly, it is the state of California. Because, by
I'm
the way,
surprised they have enough
by the
room
way,
there,
Mike,
isn't,
by the way, Mike, I just find it funny that rather than, I don't know, good schools, rather than good jobs, rather than affordable housing and lifestyle and affordable gas or a good place to do business, this is how California tries to attract people to move to California.
Oh, well, I think they forget that. Oh, move to California. It's great. It's wonderful. We're going to let 5-year-olds have medication for transgender.
Right.
I think they really forget that people are outside the state are going, I wouldn't mind seeing Beverly Hills and seeing what it looks like on Rodeo Drive. What do we got? We got turd sidewalks? No, I'm not going. Okay, not going.
Well, and Mike,
all the bad stuff gets out.
Mike, I want to be real clear, and I think I just want folks to understand this. We're not a look. We are for adults living their life the way they desire to live their life. We are not anti-trans. All right, let's be very clear about that. But what we're not is we're not for you forcing forcing that on children, right? Let them grow up and be and become whoever it is that they're going to become. And oh, by the way, allow people who don't necessarily believe in that. They have a right. They don't have to celebrate it. They should not have to be forced to honor or celebrate it. I have friends who are trans, right? You and I have people we know who are trans, and right. I care about them as I care about people and as I care about my other friends, and we disagree on a number of things, firearms related, politically, and in relation to this. But I value their opinion, and they've educated me a lot on these issues.
I just sent you a picture. Let's. I'm sorry. I just sent you a picture. Let's see if you're brave enough to show it. But Craig, this is the difference is, and again, Craig and I are saying we're not anti by any means. All right. What we're saying is, like, I have a daughter, right? Craig's
no, I'm not showing that picture.
My daughter. Did I want a boy? Of course, every dad wants a boy, right? But she's the greatest thing in the world, and she's perfect. But you know what I didn't make her do? I didn't make her dress up as a boy and chew tobacco and drive a big old pickup truck and yeah, we've all been there too.
I'm just gonna tell you something, and this I'm gonna tell you why I decided to do it, because this is one thing that it speaks to, and this is the most frustrating thing to me. I have seen there has been a feminization of men, an attempt to feminize men, and not in a positive way, in a way to tear down anything that is male or masculine is considered to be negative.
Right.
In the educational system, things that like PE. Do you know that in California, or actually in most states, the average classroom student does not get 20 minutes of PE a day. Doesn't even get that. Does not even get that a day. And what winds up happening is all of the education is being skewed towards girls, towards feminine, and then boys who tend to be masculine, who tend to be competitive, who tend to be aggressive, yada, yada, yada. Oh yeah, no, you're bad, right? You're bad, and and when we wonder why our boys are now falling behind academically. And just to be clear, I believe that, and every study has shown the best environment in which to raise a child is a two-parent household with an intact two-parent household with a mother and a father. And now you don't have to like that. You don't have to agree with that. You could have been raised in in a different environment and come out just fine. But once again, every study out there says best environment: mother, father, child, intact household.
Yeah, listen, and that's what it is. Go just in back on that. It's with the rounded family life. mother, father, 2.2 kids, whatever the heck it is, a dog. I think you got a better shot at traditional values of normalcy, right? I guess you can call it that. Not that normal is easily defined. Normal is what you make it, right?
Right.
You're going back to where Craig and I are like, we're neither one of us are anti. Like I said, I have a daughter. I didn't make her do something different because I wanted her to be like me. I wanted her to go out and, we go out and pick up chicks together or whatever, and I didn't do that. Raised her as a young lady, and she did what she did. To do it, knowing it's like trying to change, right? It's like, okay, this is trying to mess with nature. What was the Steve Martin gag where he taught his kids words but all in the wrong context? So when they got to school and asked to go to the bathroom, she asked if she could mumbo dog face to the banana patch. Remember? And that's what these kids look like, right? When you're forcing something down on them, that's not the norm. All right, you're making them stand out and be ridiculed. I mean, it's no mystery that those that suffer from trans issues before going through any medical procedures, it's something like a 40% attempted suicide rate, and afterwards, after they go through some sort of treatments, it's still a 40% attempted suicide rate. There's issues there, and why are we forcing it upon people? Well, let things occur naturally. Get away from medicine.
Right.
Get away from dressing them weird. When they're 18, if they want to do it, let them decide. But you need to stay out of nature up until that point.
But also, Mike, when you're in a society and in an educational environment, society and the media and entertainment that gives a value and almost honors victimhood, it gives a way for, and then you see people, well, if you come out as trans, you are brave, you are special, you are, and so guess what? People want to be considered brave and special, especially if there's somebody who has largely been dismissed, disrespected, and not understood, or has a hard time connecting with people. So now all of a sudden you're celebrated. Well, kids are going to gravitate to that. And I'm not saying that every kid who does I'm not ever saying every kid who does is not legitimately dealing with gender identity issues. But I am saying that not every kid who claims to be dealing with gender identity issues actually is. But we found a way to celebrate.
Yeah, and I don't buy the whole, the heroes and all that nonsense for coming forward. And sorry, you want to be a hero? Well, first off, you shouldn't want to be a hero. But if you want to fight, fear. Grab a rucksack, grab the rifle, go join the military, and go do something like that. Become a public servant, any public servant. I don't care if it's sweeping floors at the county hospital. Become a public servant if you want to be viewed in a hero in my eyes. Otherwise, shut your damn hole, shut your pie hole. Ain't got time for you.
Exactamundo. Now, there's another person who is seeking to be a hero. One of the co-founders of Friends. You guys may remember the show Friends. It grew up in it was like 90s to mid 2000s. Show that was on NBC, the most popular show every Thursday night. You had a group of folks who got together and kind of talked about the wiles of being young and 20 in New York. Well, the Friends creator surrendered 1% of her reported wealth, right, to atone for the show's whiteness. Now, Mike, I here's the thing. I'm not one who believes in that sort of thing. Once again, whiteness, but I will say this. I've been to New York, not a bunch of times, but I've been to New York. I've seen New York, and I'm like, I forget who was the comedian, but they were talking about New York. They were talking about Friends, and they were like, "Why ain't they got no black friends?" In all of New York, why ain't they got no black friends?
We know they like hockey. They went to plenty of hockey games during the series. They're hockey fans. Hockey fans stick with hockey fans. And besides, Joey's Italian, so I don't want to hear about there's no minorities on the show. Okay? So.
Yeah, right. Okay. But what's funny about it is, and so I get that. I get the point. Because it was a running joke. Because at that time, I remember when this show was on, and I remember, I think I forgot what other show was it that ran on NBC the same night that Friends ran?
What? It's like asking, what? Tell me the name of something nobody watched. I don't know.
No, Thursday nights on NBC. So there were two different nights, right? There were two different.
I know it was on NBC. I know it was on. You had Seinfeld, Mad About You, Friends, and then it was Suddenly Susan for a little while.
Seinfeld.
That, you know?
Seinfeld, I don't think was Thursdays. But anyway, Friends was one of the shows. But there was literally,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, on Fox there was a black version of Friends. I don't even remember what it was called. Yes, there was a version. It was a version of, once again, people in New York, all of them black, living together. I'm telling you, there was. Look, Martin. You ever watch Martin? Right. It was whatever that show was, and Martin. And Martin, they didn't have no white people on the show. So is the creator of that show going to give up their money because of the blackness of the show?
That's a different part of New York. That's a different part of New York.
Well, there you go.
I don't remember the show you're talking about. Not at all. Honestly, don't.
Okay. I'm telling you, it was there. It was there. It was there. Anyway.
And I watch black TV shows. I watched Family Guy.
That's not a black show.
Cleveland was in it. You don't remember Cleveland?
Just because there's a black guy in it doesn't make it a black show.
Equal representation. How come I have to have 6 black people on the show of Friends to make it equal, to make it normal? There's 10% of the population is African American.
Once again, it's a good show with a black person in it, but that doesn't make it a black show.
I don't know what a black show is, Craig. Is that something where like
a show where the cast is predominantly black? Like the majority of the people on there are
predominantly black.
What?
But the country's not predominantly black. The country's
but once again, that's why I was calling it a black show, not just a show. Yeah. There are shows that star black people that are good shows. Doesn't make them a black show. There are shows that star mostly white people that are good shows. I didn't call them white shows. I just call them shows.
In Living Color. It was In Living Color.
In Living Color was one of the shows that was on, but that's not the one that I was referring to. I'm looking at them right now. I'm looking them up right now. But yeah, no, that was not one of the shows that I was referring to.
For the record, it's the black guy on the show that can't remember the name of the black show. So,
well, because it was like a long time ago.
The Cosby Show.
No, it was Living Single, is what it was.
Living Single.
Living Single.
Never heard.
That was the show.
Never.
It had Queen Latifah in it.
That was a TV show?
Yes.
Never heard of it.
But probably wouldn't.
That wasn't like on the WB or something like that?
No. The WB actually did, though, have a good number of shows with people of color on it. That's why it was called not Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers.
It was Warner Bros. Yeah.
Warner Bros.
Warner Bros.
But anyway, it clearly was not NBC, the new black channel, because they were busy showing the whiteness of Friends.
Yep.
And so the founder of that show decided they were going to give some of their money back.
Give it back. Who did it give it back to?
Anyway, sorry, that was the theme to A Different World. I pulled up a thing to try the 30 black sitcoms, and anyway, I clicked on one of the videos.
You got 30 Rock, didn't you?
I did not get 30 Rock. I did get Rock. There is a show called Rock.
Tracy Morgan was on 30 Rock. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a black guy on there.
He's crazy. I love him. He's crazy.
Yes. He was hilarious. Yep. All right, let's move on to our parting shot for the day. As you know, coming up is Independence Day. It's going to be a fun weekend, which, by the way, we will not be on Monday, just so you know. I'm just going to make it clear right now. I'm going to be celebrating my independence.
Hold on. I better make a note.
Make a note. Don't want you sitting in front of your computer it might be like,
off.
Where you at, Craig? Where you at?
Monday. Off Monday.
All right.
Got it. Okay. All right, I'm good.
So we want to give you a little bit of consumer advice, right? because we all know how it is. It's always hard to find good fireworks. Well, Mike came up with he found some advice to help you find some really good quality fireworks.
Surefire plan.
Surefire plan. For those of you who are just listening, it's a sign that says, "Guys with an eye patch and 3 fingers sell the best fireworks."
Yep, exactly right. And his nickname's like Lefty or Sparky or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Now, I would not follow their directions in terms of how to fire off those fireworks, because you may wind up resembling them. But they, like I said, they likely have the best fireworks.
Pro tip: when you buy your fireworks, go out in the parking lot and light some off. Surely, it's a thrill for everyone. It's a thrill for everyone.
Oh yeah, everybody. All right, Mike, it's about that time. Shout out to our sponsors.
Let's say hey to our good friends at uscombatgear.com, the California Republican Assembly, Grid Defense, and Guerrilla Machining.
Yes, folks, please remember they are in the their links to the websites are in the description to this video or podcast. Please make it a point. Go there. If you like what you see, kick them down some cash and let them know that the guys over at the Rundown sent you. On that note, please do us a favor. Have a safe and fun Independence Day, and we will see you on Taco Tuesday.
Go buy yourself a ghost gun.
There you go.